Today's larger, heavier equipment can lead to more soil compaction issues. Firestone Ag IFVF tires with 82 technology maximize load capacity while minimizing soil compaction. Visit firestoneag.com to learn more. Now it's time to talk markets. Joining us this week is Mike Zuzolo, President of Global Commodity Research. Mike, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Great to be with you, Mike. Thanks for having me, and Happy New Year to you, sir.
Well, Happy New Year indeed, Mike. We're 1 week past the release of all those January reports from the USDA. Crops got bigger across the board. My question, 2.5 bushel bump in corn. Does that jibe with what you're thinking?
Yeah, I'm okay with that, Mike. I'm not sure if it's above 177 nationally because that was our 2020 national yield number. And I didn't have a lot of producers in the country say they beat 2020 or 2021 in some cases. So I'm not sure it's that high, but you never fight City Hall, especially when they pulled out 600,000 acres out of the harvested acreage number. I can tolerate the domestic corn number and balance sheet very well. It's the global number, the global corn number especially, that really got underneath me from a standpoint of I don't think we have the competition out there that the baseline numbers of the WASDE report suggest, because it was all China production other than the United States that went up. And I think it really put in a strange looking and skewed the world stocks to use ratios pretty dramatically. I think 2024 corn stocks to use ratios in the world are going to be down there at 9 to 10%. 9 to 10 year lows, just like the wheat numbers were and continue to be. I think we really have a lot tighter stocks globally, but domestically here we have the corn.
All right, Mike. Well, that is an interesting dichotomy. Bigger stocks at home, fewer stocks around the world. How do growers manage that difference here heading into 2024 with old crop in the bin?
Yeah, and there's a lot of old crop in the bin. The USDA's grain stocks numbers for corn said on farm up 16% versus a year ago. So I think there's going to be some cash selling needs, especially before springtime. I would suspect that if we don't see any end of January selling on any kind of recovery or bounce in prices, led by, I would suspect, either China coming back around in terms of their economic recovery or South American production numbers getting back into the news. We're probably going to have a lot more selling pressure in February for cash corn than normally, Mike.
Is that an argument to maybe look at locking in some basis now?
I think so. I mean, this is where the national corn price, the DTN corn index, has only lost about a dime since the end of November. That suggests that we've had a lot of basis appreciation with this futures decline. So that's certainly, I think, something I'm on the hunt for here in the next 10 to 15 days. As soon as I get a buy signal technically in the wheat market, I think one would follow in the corn probably, and that's probably where you want to start looking to lock in that basis on corn.
Mike, since you brought up the wheat market, we continue to see a little bit of back and forth, not much life. Where do you see wheat going from here?
I think wheat is trying to form a base. We saw that Egypt did come in and buy more Russian wheat, but they also took in some French wheat. That was the first time since August. I think we're trying to find a low again in this market. I suspect a lot of it depends on the currencies, and I think this is where the funds in China and the currencies are all wrapped up. But we haven't shaken the 2023 issues that we left in the new year, Mike, that we came back to in 2024 when it comes to wheat. We've got a 9 to 10 week low in the Chinese offshore currency. We've got a 5 to 6 week low in the Brazilian currency, and the ruble is still trying to find its support as well. So I'm sensing, though, supply demand wise, as I said before, we're almost at a decade low stocks to use world wheat supplies, and both Russia and Ukrainian prices have been coming up a little bit at a time.
All right. We'll be back with more from Mike Zuzolo when we return.